my only defense of CBS and their situation with Burns on second is that they knew that was going to happen beforehand. Like, yes, he was tied for the lead. Yes, it was Sunday, but he was always going to eject. So
let's not invest. Let's not invest any story capital into Sam Burns because it's going to be a waste in 2 hours.
Dude, do you want to know something?
Sure.
I lost low Scandinavian because Victor went banana and Ludwig bogeyed 16-17 and missed a 6-footer for birdie on 18.
I saw people sweating the Ben Griffin low debutante as well, and Griffin just went full meltdown. I think he was the only guy to put it into the water on 16 on Sunday.
Oy. And this is where I need the people for a moment. You tell me, Pat, how much I might be biased because I have a bet, but I know what I saw. And I believe it was graded wrong. And while I'm talking about it here, because it's easier with words, I want you to know I am too lazy to take this to customer service.
At Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog, RBC Heritage Picks, Bets, Preview, One and Done. Additionally, we got to recap a little tournament called the Masters. Plus, I got some winners from the giveaway draws. Thank you, everyone who supported the show over the past 10 days. Geoff, I'm kind of burnt out. Not going to lie to you.
It's always a struggle bus the morning after the Masters.
I wish, I've said this thousands of times, but I don't like that Harbor Town is a signature event. I thought it was a really fun full field event. It does get me going again on a Monday after the Masters, though. Like, I'm super excited to talk about this tournament because I love this tournament. And then we do a show next week for the Zurich? Have we ever done a Zurich show?
You might go, like, you had the baby, so usually you finally take a vacation.
That's what I was planning on doing, and I have a bunch of new shows that
We could bang out like a 40-minute Zurich show if you're around. Like, how hard could that be for us to just yuck it up?
Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to do DraftKings next week. I'm not going to me and Keith will take the week off. We'll do our show. There'll be no research show, but we'll make the bets for the Zurich. And then, there's a me, Gary, and Cust, brand new Cust corner. We got the best of Rob and Cam, maybe some NBA stuff. Who knows? We'll have it all for you. We're not going anywhere, but we'll pump the brakes a little bit on the Zurich Classic.
I will say I didn't think the Zurich would even come up at all today. I am one of the few people in the world who kind of enjoy it. I don't have access to DFS, so I don't really care that the games get spoiled. We do this thing every single week. I think it's a fun change of pace. I think it's charming. I got no beef with it.
I don't either, but it's always just historically been when I take a vacation week, and I didn't. Yes. And usually it was Mexico Open too, but then they took that off the schedule. So, it's been from week 2 of the preseason NFL through the Masters through this week. Just need to chill out for a bit.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I mean, people who've been fans long enough usually realize the golf season starts during the NFL playoffs. There's great events. Once the Super Bowl ends, we have great events. It's almost like the start, and your first chance to really get away after you've been grinding since September is usually right now. But you had the baby, so you're home.
I'm home, and I haven't taken any time off for the baby. I think my wife is probably looking forward to that, to having me around the house during the day.
I bet. Listen, we could always can the goods. I got a lot of comments this week from a few people who are like new. I know you think it's crazy because we've been doing the show for so long and we just think people are part of the orbit. But people who, like, for the first time sort of got a Tim Anderson experience and were messaging me that he's like one of their favorite characters on the internet now. So new people still find him.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. It's always the one risk that you run, and our Monday show was the highest rated show we've ever done on Spotify. It was by a large margin as well. So whoever shared that around, picked it up, thank you for that one. It beat week 1 of the NFL from last year, which is just shocking news.
Yeah, it was actually a couple people, Pat, who I had on my Super Bowl extravaganza over at Pizzola's Hammer, who I guess had never really gotten into this orbit, and they watched our Friday night show or our Thursday night show, and like it was their introduction to Tim, and I think he was talking about Uncrustables.
Yeah.
And we were picking up on the so he got some new fans. Maybe our orbit did too. So shout out to Tim, who I swear to God, correct me if I'm wrong, is he now sideways trying to take some credit for Rory?
Oh yeah. So our group chat was just blowing up about, see, I told you a lot of this stuff after Rory fell out of the lead and came through and ended up winning. I was like, what are you talking? No one even glad handed him like a negative response. It was just like, no, we're not doing this now.
Yeah. I don't know. Here we are. As for the Heritage, I am disgusted. I'm disgusted that it's elevated. I'm disgusted by the odds board. They took a really fun capping event and just turned it into something where, sure, you can I'm not doubting you'll clip an each way or something, one of our friends or you will, but it's just going to go to the big boys. And I liked when you had you had that other leg of the tour and you had enough of the high end guys who wanted to roll over out of Augusta, but this does not do it for me.
I don't think that the bottom tier of this field is completely dead coming into it, only because a lot of the very top end guys did just go through a pretty brutal Sunday. Even guys like Xander and Spieth, who just put up numbers. I mean, Spieth wasn't really in it, but he ends up coming inside, the top 15, puts on a great show. That Scotty's really the only guy I can remember. He won the Masters and then he won the Heritage. Everyone else, even if you go back and look at last year, like most of the guys that did well at the Masters did not do well at the Heritage.
I mean, people laugh at me. Scotty winning the Heritage, I would argue, it doesn't get enough credit. In my brain, it's one of his greatest wins ever. You don't win the week out of the Masters. He's almost like, I that was as impressive as it gets for me.
To go back and look at it over the years, one of the big things that you could take away from this tournament was, hey, did your guy play in the Masters? Check. Did your guy miss the cut at the Masters? Check. Although that's how we hit Brendan Grace here. That's how I hit Macintyre here. Like, it's just been something that's played itself out over the years. So I'm curious. The first bet I made on the board is probably not someone that you would be expecting. And then I saw his odds. I was like, these are laughable compared to what not only what you could bet him at last week, what people were. I'll just say it. Minwoo Lee's like 75-1 this week.
Oh, wow. I've had a hard time staring at the board. It really didn't do anything for me.
Minwoo Lee went off at 33.
I'm a sucker for him.
33.
But we were joking on the Friday
Masters.
show. We played the game during the cut sweat. What will Cantlay's odds be like to win the tartan?
That's Cantlay. Cantlay ended up putting in a run. He ended up coming inside like the top 20, didn't he?
Yes. We were joking that I can't wait to bet Cantlay at the Heritage when it looked like he might even miss the cut. And then he goes out as the greatest freaking weekend pure Cantlay, who now when you add in his other event was a T7, you're like, oh, he's start at the Valspar. He's like, oh, a couple in a row now. Who's getting off the mat? Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. I could be Scotty. I don't know how you could really bet any of those other elite players and not bet Scotty Scheffler. And
Scotty's odds aren't awful. They're almost 4-1.
Like, how do you bet Cantlay at 20 when you can just bet Scotty at 5.5 or 4? Like, even any of the other guys. There's so many guys under 20-1. I don't think I've bet Scotty Scheffler once in the years of his excellence. I've never been like the week. Not even like the Olympics or other people found the smaller fields. I just enjoy building cards. Out of the Masters, I don't know. I might not feel like building a card.
There's some guys. Maybe we can clip an each way or a top 10 because I got some guys deeper in this field that I do like. But we should probably talk about Augusta. Rory won, -12. Is it weird to you that the scores are always the same? I saw people complaining about this, and I was probably guilty of this too, based on all the shows that we did, the round one recap or the Cut Sweat show, is they really want the winning score to be that -10 to -12, and they jury rig the course that it would end up being there. That after like people complained like after Thursday, man, if we had just had what we saw on Thursday all week, it would have been a different story. I tend to agree with that, but they don't want this. The Masters doesn't want it to be the U.S. Open. They really don't. And it was still hard enough for these guys that they got the score that they wanted to get.
Yeah, it seems like people were upset that they didn't take advantage of an opportunity to maybe be US Open light. Right? Because they're never going to fully want to be the US Open, but people did want to see them like turn it a bit. And with the weather conditions that they had and how they always like to brag that, like, you know, when it is nice, they can do whatever they want. Between their genius and modern tech and equipment, that they can make that course any way they want, especially when there hasn't been the rain. People were wanting to see them show it off. And in the end, they decided to stay in their lane, which is unfortunate. You know, I hope we'll get to this because there's golf to talk about first. But it's amazing how they want to stay in their lane, and I appreciate it when it comes to the goddamn final fucking score. But there's some other incidents where they don't want to stay in their lane. And now, like, they're thirsty teenage girls. So it's tough. It's tough. But that's where they've chosen to stay in their lane. Some of us, I got no problem with the final score and what they did with the course. Some of us would wish they'd stay in their lane on the ancillaries that are Augusta. But
I'm of two minds of this, because people got really triggered about the par 3 and all the shenanigans that went on, and some of it was really stupid. But I don't care about the par 3. I'm
never even watching it. I just see it through YouTube clip or just social clips.
But that's their day to burn all that crap. Like they do want to have some relevancy with like YouTube golf, younger people. Why not burn it on the par 3? Who cares?
Okay, I can understand that. But like the lineup of chuds that they choose to introduce through like Kevin Hart, Bert Kreischer, Bert Kreischer Light and Kelsey. It's all like as it was a tough, the roller coaster of our boy Larry and all Cam Young truthers, but specifically Larry. Shout out Tom and Marty's. He referred to it as thirsty. And I thought that was a good terminology. Like, why is Augusta like thirsty for this? There are people who can do that with, and they've run that successful day forever. And I do not spin this anyone into me having an issue with the kids. I think that is beautiful. I think that is such a charming thing that the day before the most important tournament of the year is a very lighthearted, what do you call it? Like, just sort of knock the players out of their seriousness lane and get that family time. Humbling's not the right word, but I just love that part of it. I think that's a lovely charm of it. There's other enormous tournaments of the year on Wednesday is all about focus and prep, not the other stuff. So I think that's lovely. But they seem to have put some like extra chut on top of whatever the old operation was. And I don't know why they feel they got to do it.
I guess it's some sort of internal directive, but none of that was there during the actual tournament, and that's what I care about.
I agree. And here's the other thing about
except for the egg salad hat guy. Like, fuck off.
Oh,
Cust love that too.
That's the thing. When you try to sit back, you're watching that, and you're like, who on earth, even if you're like tempted to buy everything, who on earth actually wants to wear egg salad on their goddamn head with all the options, the great options I'm sure they have? You're like, who would like that? And then you have Tim Anderson tell you, I love that hat. and it all makes freaking sense.
If only it didn't have the Augusta cursive. It was just in block letters. Then you would have been all over it.
uh, yeah. There's more ancillary, but let's get to the golf first.
So, would you like to start with the broadcast, or would you like to start with Rory? Because you and most of the internet was pretty furious about the coverage as soon as they came on air. When it's like, let's cut back to Sam Burns, who's chipping for like bogey over here. Like, what the hell is going on? They do this they do this every year, and we forget about it until Sunday. But CBS, they have to show like each of the final 5 groups. Like what they're trying to do is set the table of, here are all the players that are in the race. And then they kind of lose the thread a little bit the moment that those guys tap in on one. And then we just kind of lose them until number 4.
So I understand what you're saying. And now we'll go a little deeper ancillary before the golf. They like to maximize that first tee time, the intro, all of it. But I think the timelines that you're speaking still are not an excuse, because they're already, one is in the fairway at this point, and a guy just tied for the lead. You've got to show something. You cannot just pop back to here's his 4th from an awkward spot like over 100 yards away. He's playing 4. That is such a disservice. The Masters is incredible. It's got a special place in our heart. As Wright Thompson says, it's just your life. It's like that wall in behind the pantry door where your parents put how tall you were. Right? It's just like it represents your whole life, this goddamn tournament. And the broadcast was pathetic. The app, inferior to what we are used to. So the accoutrement was down this year. It was, despite having a great leaderboard and something fun shaking out. I think they failed. Now, they did something that I think is hero ball, and I loved it, and I'll save it for the end because you got to know. But overall, they failed. That's just a fact.
When
it's non-negotiable, okay? They're lost on 18. Yeah. Rory shot. It was such a tough day. CBS had like a Fleetwood-esque weekend. At least Fleetwood got to be a caddy to Hatton and Lowry. Walking in, going for walks with his friends. Holy shit. That's what I think of CBS. Whatever you think of the golf of Fleetwood on the weekend is what I think of the app and CBS's work this year.
I wouldn't go that far with it because I do prefer watching on CBS. I find that the visuals on CBS look a lot better. And if you want to go full conspiracy theory on 18, is that they were just trying to add to the drama. They knew where the ball was the entire time, and they were like, "Where's the ball?
Way.
Who knows?" I know that's not actually what happened, but he's on the
other.
They're
going to get panned pretty hard in like industry pieces that no one actually reads other than the people in the industry, and that the people in the industry like believe and take as gospel. So they're not going to like what is said. They're not. I'm not talking about this podcast. I'm talking about like your Orans, your Marshands, your Glass-Steagalls, like that sort of people. It was a tough day. It was a tough day for CBS. Golfers have tough days. I thought they bookended their day pretty tough. I still cannot believe the Burns thing. I know what you're talking about, that they give the pageantry to the front and a couple things you can show up somewhere, but no, not a co-leader, not in a freaking bush. And then it still took them 15, 12 minutes to like roll the tape on the situation. I can't even believe that happened.
It makes it worse that you can make up for it if you're really engaged with it through the app. And our experience with the app internationally is different than the app within America, because you can stream all those feeds that we get on TV through the app. So that's a big benefit of the app for American consumers. But I feel like with the app that they just try to do too much with it. It was better 4 years ago when they didn't try to incorporate a pop-up video every time. Like, if you wanted to go find the video, that was easy and that was preferable. I don't need to see the video of every shot before you tell me where it is. I'm just trying to track it. And I know that not everyone is trying to use the app the same way that me, you, and people who watch this show are trying to use the app. So we have to remember that part about it as well. But at least if they're not showing Scotty's tee shot on 6 to see how close he is. Now, they did show that because he's Scotty. But you could just tune into the 4, 5, 6 feed and you could just watch it live there if that's what you really wanted to do. You can't do that for 1, 2, and 3. It's one of the crappiest parts about Sunday is that every year you just lose track of these guys and what they're up to. And the app was too far behind, presumably because they were trying to load so many videos into it that just tell us where the shot is. That's all we want to know.
Yeah, and my big flaw as a guy, I mean, just how I want to use the app, when I'm playing Masters Radio, and then if I open up someone's situation, Masters Radio stops because a video plays.
Yeah, I really don't like that either.
And that was so frustrating. Then I go back in, restart the radio. No, every time I'm going to open up a guy just to see where he is. Yeah, the app was, I will tell you, the people like the operations that we'll use week in, week out, be it the great scoreboard that you implemented at National and BetSperts and just even people that use the betting books or PGAtour.com, and like the gap between those scoreboards, it was nothing like it normally is, because I guess the Masters app was slower and therefore it felt like those ones were not as off. Yeah, not good. And while we're here, this isn't my main point. I just want to talk about this because this isn't where they're heroes. That's going to come at the end. I understand. Okay, part of me wants, they deserve so much credit for their content operation. I really think whoever they've hired over these years has done such a great job. And they've understood their responsibility because other people aren't allowed to film on property, right? So it is our job as the Masters and their official feeds on, I mean, I'm not on the I don't look at the picture book. I'm a little more on the talk these days. But I don't care about like other people's fake days. So I'm not on that one. But even like the reels and the shorts, like they go above and beyond. But I feel like there's almost, I don't know, I feel like there's almost like too much nonsense now from them. And I'm kind of surprised about that.
Give me an example of the nonsense, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Like they are coming out with these shorts at like a schoolgirl pace, and it's like I don't know, it's like it's nonstop. And maybe, I don't know, credit to them. I'm just saying their digital content arm is like incredible, even if I don't like everything. And, I don't know, like Minwoo Lee cooking in the kitchen, the actual Masters kitchen. Like, no wonder you missed the cut, but that's like stuff that I can't believe the Masters is doing. Like the we're making milkshakes at Memorial sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can choose not to consume that.
It's almost hard.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about, so I
was. But you don't even know who. You don't even know that Savannah Guthrie's mom is missing. So I can't even like quantify what you know.
I don't even know who that is.
That's what I mean. It's like one of the biggest stories. Like that's what I mean. So I don't know. I don't know how you could. That's all. So our baselines here are really off, and I don't know. That's all. So I don't know. I can't miss this stuff. You can't see this stuff.
Our algorithms are very different, Jeff.
I get it, but mine's not as weird as you would think it is. It's probably way more boring.
I don't know. Got a lot of Master stuff on there. You'd figure mine would be full of Master stuff, but I have anything golf blocked on Instagram. If anything
That's
is
probably
golf,
smart. Like,
yeah.
well, you're not there for yeah.
Well, I'm not there. I fell into a trap of getting all these tips. And then I tried out the tips, and it ruined my fucking game, so I didn't want to see them anymore. So anything golf related is just gone.
Hold on, though, Pat. The craziest thing, and I think you mentioned it, we did a couple shows in real time this week, be it Thursday, Friday, whatever. You mentioned it. I didn't like tweet about the app at all, but anyone who made a comment about the app being inferior, I saw with my own eyes.
Bots.
They are getting, like, people are attacking them like we're talking about you made a political statement or you insulted someone's favorite team. And listen, we're real ones. Like, we celebrate the download of that thing. It is undeniable that it did not run like we are the expectations we have set for it for what they've delivered. But I don't understand where this, I don't know. There's so much hate for people making commentaries not positive about the app.
It was very strange, and I had a tweet about it that got picked up in, I assume, in the For You section of people's X accounts. And just a lot of these people who were firing back about, like, A, it's a really weird thing to get defensive about, like how much you love the Masters app. And then, like, you would click on I was very curious. You'd see a lot of these people, and they'd be like, they look like burner accounts, and then you click on them, and like they have like no tweets whatsoever except for defending the app. It's like they went to the Live. Maybe one of the joint conversations between Augusta and Live was like, "Yo, hook us up with some of them bots to defend ourselves online." Yeah, that's what it felt like.
On that note, it just adds to like the claims of them being thirsty. Like, why do they even care? I'm not saying I don't believe they've done that, but it does seem like, I mean, I'm not surprised there's Masters loyalists for like anything that happens or the Masters is a part of or endorses, but it was really weird. It was almost like these people just found the app last year.
Well, no, well,
like this year.
I think that's the whole thing. It's people that don't follow golf every single week. They're not on all the, like, we think about how much we complain about the PGA Tour app and how slow it is and everything that goes along with that, that if you're used to using, I don't know, the ESPN app to follow football or whatever it is that you watch, then the 1 week a year you get the Masters app, you're like, holy shit, there's like video that pops up on this. I could see how if you didn't know, it would seem good.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the correlation between that person and being like wanting to tweet about it to strangers also weird.
To defend it to strangers.
Because I don't think people who follow you fall into the category of I just found the Masters app for the first time this year.
Well, that's why I'm saying it got picked up on a greater scale, because most of these people who were defending the app were definitely not people who were following me. So what was the good thing? What would you want to give them their flowers for?
Their commitment, Mr. Ridley's commitment to the ball and the rollback, and acknowledging that we are in the steroid era of golf, and history will not look kind. This era for which we've been podcasting history will not be kind to it. It will not be kind to it. That doesn't mean like Rory isn't, like, his legacy will be taken away. Like, I don't mean anything like that, but it will be looked at as just how people look at the steroid era in baseball. The equipment steroid era will not be respected in history, I don't think. And for good reason. And I'm happy the Masters fully understands this. And I don't believe people can think they're just acting out of selfish interests. I don't think, I mean, maybe that's obviously a part of it. I'm not a total idiot, but I believe they truly stand for what the betterment of golf should be. And like, no one wants this. No, like, this is unacceptable. The ball it goes too far. The club faces are too goddamn forgiving. Nothing should change with our amateur game. Give me all the tech I need. Right, to plot along to shoot a 94. I need it all. but something's got to change up there, and I'm thrilled. The Masters is dead set on being the leader and get in line. And if they want to have their own ball, like, I fully support them. That's going to be amazing. Some great betting variable there too, but I fully back it.
Could Bryson make his own ball for the Masters? Would they let him do that?
I mean, what a guy. Bryson. Imagine not knowing what you don't know. Like, just buy some Vokies, pal.
The problem with them using their own ball is that they have lengthened this course to the point where if you rolled it back, like, some of these holes don't make any sense anymore. Because there were a few...
They can shorten up the tee boxes.
They would have to. Like, on 5, like, guys are still hitting it like 230 in on 5 and 11. Like, these are just gigantic, like, 4-iron shots with the better clubs, with the better driver. What do you want them to have, like 275 in? Like, that's not a real hole.
They will make the adjustments for the adjustments. Like, adjustments.
Year one of it would be horrible, I feel like.
It's unfortunately, it's the price that the sport will have to pay for what the sport sat on its thumb and rotated and watched happen.
Are people, like, bummed out by a -12 score? It's not like this turned into the American Express.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the future. To single out like one specific week, I believe they know where this is going, as we all do. And it's nothing. These guys, it's not golf anymore.
Starting something new is terrifying. I remember right before launching this show thinking, what if no one listens? What if it completely flops? And that's something that has persisted every time that I hit record and go to edit a show, even as I'm recording this right now. It never goes away. But taking that leap ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. And honestly, having something like Shopify back then would have made it a whole lot easier. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses. Whether you're just getting started or scaling up, you can build a clean, professional store with ready-to-use templates that actually match your brand. No coding headaches. And it's not just a storefront. Shopify's got built-in AI tools to help write product descriptions, improve your pages, even upgrade your images. Plus, you can run email and social campaigns right from the platform like you've got a full marketing team behind you. That would have been great like 15 years ago, not gonna lie to you. Best part, everything lives in one place. Inventory, payments, analytics, so you're not juggling 5 different tools to run your business. It's time to turn those what-ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/PatMayo. Go to shopify.com/PatMayo. That's shopify.com/PatMayo. I got some winners to give away. I got a free mattress to give away. I got some golf balls. I got some cash for the peoples out there, a rabbit hole subscription. It's all there. So the winner, the 3 winners, so whoever gets back to me first can have their choice of the cash, of the rabbit hole, or of the golf balls. We got G Coffee 223. We got MP Slacker 3 and TBMISER 1389. That's between like newsletter, people who signed up at betsportsgolf.com, and Apple Podcast, YouTube comments. Those were the 3 names that were called out for that. Just email in at mayomediainc@gmail.com, claim your prize. And the big winner of the Helix mattress is our mute. I don't want to say his entire Gmail, but it was a Gmail account because they were a new rabbit hole sub. Shout out to you. That's how you got all the ballots in the draw at betsportsgolf.com. Our mute 34 is the, and then you can probably guess what the rest of the email is, but that is the winner of the Helix mattress. I can actually email you because I have your email on that front, but congratulations. You get a free Helix mattress. I recommend a king size and one that's not too hot. That's the one that I have. You don't want a hot mattress.
No, of course not.
Especially with the dog days of summer coming. Rory, back to back. The problem is we kind of did this show already on Friday when we crowned him. And I think that actually led to some of what people complained about of the softer conditions, especially on Saturday. Because Sunday's always, I wouldn't say like a birdie fest, but they do always give you very accessible pins on Sunday. So you can have these massive swings that someone can go on. What the Scheffler run that he went on Sunday. He just happened to go on it on Saturday because I think that the tournament organizers looked at it and said, the only way that we're getting a tournament on Sunday is if someone charges back and Rory stumbles. And that's exactly what happened based on the pin placements. Rory had his like C- game, but the pins were accessible enough that guys could go 66, 67. There was a bunch of guys who did it, and it turned into a tournament again. So it was a great success on their part, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even Friday night, I would think that their setup was incredible because what you had was this incredible leaderboard of guys at like 6 under and one outlier super elite. So how can they, like, if I'm Augusta National on Saturday night, I'm like, I think we've done everything great because these guys are at 6 and one guy has doubled them up, and we can't set the course up for an outlier of a super elite being super elite playing to his ceiling. And that happened the first couple days, and water sort of found its level with Rory, who old Rory liked to run laps. I guess this Rory, he wants to be in the cauldron of it, and he certainly brought himself back into it. But he played about as bad as he could play, and he shot one over.
At what point did you think that Rory wasn't going to win? Or did you? Or do you think he was always going to get it back together on Sunday?
No, when he was 3 back, and there was like a long-standing, like, guys that lose strokes tee to green on a Saturday don't really win on Sunday. And I'll give him credit for this, Pat. I could be wrong, but in all the years that we've been doing a show, I mean this. Someone find me the outlier, find me the answer. I can't think of a time, and things have left my brain for obvious reasons. I can't remember a time where a guy who like worked hard on the range on Saturday night after having like a Friday night lead won the major. Like, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. But I heard Rory say after the fact that shot he hit on 12, he fully owed to the range work he did on Saturday night.
It looked like it was so good, it looked like a miss hit.
No, he said it. I mean, that's why you give yourself more room for error. It tailed a little, but that was the 3/4 9-iron was exactly what he wanted to hit. It's what he apparently even worked on Saturday night to get that feeling good. And I'd argue, right, he made that birdie on 9, he makes the birdie on 12, and it's go time. It's go time, and everyone else sort of, fell back, didn't take advantage of much.
Now, Cam especially, is it kind of looked like Cam had an opportunity to blow this wide open and just threw up all over himself the moment that I think that someone told him he was up by a few.
Yeah, 6 and 7 were tough. 6, it was like a 4-footer that he missed, and then 7.
Well, he just kept coming. It was back to like, on 6 and 7.
Yeah.
He reverted back into the guy that played the first 7 holes awfully on Thursday, where he had no distance control with his irons. He came up like 2 clubs short on 6. Burns did the exact same thing. Scheffler did the same thing on 6 too. But then on 7, I think he was hitting a wedge into 7 and came up, I don't know, 20 yards short into the bunker. He was the only guy all day that I saw in that bunker.
Yeah, sorry. Then which one he went long where he lost the lead? He went long and then had a shitty chip.
6 was the par 3 where he came up woefully short and then hit it. Then his putt was past the hole, and then he missed it coming back, I think, or maybe that was 4. Maybe I'm getting them all confused now.
Yeah, no, because then he missed like the 4-footer when he was at 12 under, and then at 11 he hit it long. When he was at 11 under, he hit it long of the green, and then his chip didn't like carry, and he missed the 12-footer for par to go back to 10.
No, that was at 6. On 6, the pin was tucked away right, and he hit the slope and bounced all the way left. And he had like the 90-foot putt that he 3-putted.
Yeah, he missed like the 4-footer.
Yeah.
That the app said was 6 feet, but I swear to God that wasn't 6 feet. I swear to God that was not 6 feet.
When did you start getting terrified about Scheffler? 'Cause I can pinpoint the moment.
He left a few out there on Saturday.
Don't ask him about it. Don't ask him.
If you're a one-off and you just like watch golf with the Masters, you might not connect the dots, Pat. But like a hardo like myself, is a pattern with him. Every tournament, he's got like such attitude for reporters or dumb questions. I tell you what, great guy. I got no doubt. But Meredith is on eggshells to ask dumb questions because I got no doubt he's got no time for her dumb questions either. If he gets that mad over those sorts of questions, holy jeez. And this is a pattern. I'm not just singling out yesterday.
I think it's a different situation of like being Scotty Scheffler in real life and being Scotty Scheffler walking off the course at the Masters when you know that you've left a few out there.
I know I would be a total apologist for that if there wasn't like a pattern of like every single week he's like very short and like rude to a reporter who asks like questions to him. I find it very unbecoming of like a player who's accomplished as much as he's accomplished. I like that sort of stuff from like my Ty Hattons of the world, but not from a Scheffler. And Hatton would honestly never do that. But I don't know why Scheffler can't just be like, oh, I left a few out there. I always feel I left a few out there. And he did. You watched Saturday, he left a few out. I mean, he made great par saves, but this thing was there for him. I don't have a doubt about it. When did I get scared? I guess when he made the birdie on 15.
Oh, see, I got scared when he made those back-to-back like giant par savers. I was like, oh no, it's actually
but
happening.
But then you got unscared
for a bit, and then it finally ended up coming back. But after because I was like, someone just needs to go take a spike, shove it through his heart, and get rid of this fucking guy because I just can't have him winning. Just coming out of nowhere, storming the court, and winning a third Masters this way. He was playing great. And then it's like, oh, yeah, he had a shit shot. Oh, he has like a 12-foot par saver in. Next hole, like 15-foot for par. Okay, we can just get rid of him now. Nope, drains that one too. And then he went into neutral, thankfully. And then on 15, he made that huge putt.
Nance almost had an orgasm after the second par save.
Well, it's funny because I don't want to see him win. Not that I'm actively rooting against Scotty Scheffler, but I still thought at that point Cam Young had a chance to come back to win me some money. And I like Rory more than I like Scotty. I guess if you have the opposite opinion, then obviously this is a different conversation. But I like having him in it, but I don't like when he wins. So this was kind of the optimal outcome for me.
Fair enough. I'll also say CBS I like better than NBC in totality if I had to pick one. But even like name some mid-tier event that
Valero
CBS does. Valero.
That CBS does? CBS does
Canada. Let's just say Canada.
Yeah, they do. They do Canada.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's the RBC Canadian Open or the Masters. CBS is so much worse than NBC when there is like a big tight leaderboard. NBC is so much better at dealing with five guys right around within a shot of the lead. Like, you know what I'm talking about. CBS is so much worse at doing it. And obviously the Masters, and they're going to tell their stories and have their attention and get the beautiful looking shots, pan out, get an extra shot instead of an extra iron shot from another guy we're interested in. But they are inferior. It doesn't matter what the tournament is at getting us through those tense, lots of people with lots on the line situations.
They did a good job with Henley yesterday. And I guess the difference between CBS and NBC in that regard, and we're talking about the Masters, not just a dinky tournament, because I think the big one that you're alluding to is that time they didn't show Harold Varner top the shot at Riviera when he was
that was their all-time nut low. The year Adam Scott won at Riviera, it was a total smorgasbord at the top. They didn't show out. They didn't show people make a mess of 10 from that the whole time. Even Adam Scott in the lead, they missed like him screwing up. Here's the thing, though. They usually they go away. We got so mad at them that week, but then they go away for like a month. It's like, how you mad? Now, you're not gonna, when they come back, you're not gonna like hold that grudge from 6 weeks ago. So every time I'm about to get furious with them, they go on their hiatus and it just ends.
Henley could have won the Masters if he had just made a few putts on the back nine. Sorry, the second
Henley.
Second
Henley was on my outright card.
I know he was. I assumed you would scratch that off for dead on Friday.
Sure, yeah. I was pretty proud of my work despite not picking a winner.
I wasn't. I had a terrible week.
Oh, I lost money. Can we talk about this?
Did Matt Gannon give out Rory over Scotty on your super stream?
Oh, okay. Let's do this. On the Jeff on Golf Masters Extravaganza, Matt Gannon gave out 50-1 dual forecast Rory Scotty.
That's awesome.
So I haven't done the full total of the show, but we're gonna be up big time, baby. I thought it was gonna be right around, maybe down a couple units. Yeah, so that's fun. Shout out to Matt. Let's go. And obviously when he gave, I didn't bet it. Shout out to people that did. Shout out to Matt. What's unfortunate about this dual forecast is, and maybe people tell me I'm wrong, I don't even feel like we got a duel. I mean, like, we haven't gotten the real duel, which is crazy. We got the dual forecast. I don't think we got the duel. They don't even have to be playing together, which would be amazing. But the amount of times, I'm almost jealous when you look back on like the amount of times we got Phil Tiger. And I know it was more time. We're really only in like a 2.5, 3 year window now with Scotty.
But we didn't get Phil Tiger that much. It really didn't happen all that often. The crazy part is that we've got Rory Bryson more in the past 3 years than we have Rory and anyone else.
We got it a couple times and they were memorable. And we need to get it. We need to get it. At this point, you'd take it anywhere. You'd want it at a major, but we would take it anywhere. The fact that both of them have been playing at the way they've been playing for the length they've been playing at now, and we have not had the stars align, it just shows you how great golf is in that, like, you'd argue Rolap would say that's the worst, right? This new commish, he'd almost fix the game. I like him, but in his heart of hearts, he's probably thinking how we could do it.
Is Scotty back?
Shout out Rory, Pat.
Is Scotty back?
Podcast. We did when we first started doing the podcast. Was Valhalla our first show ever? Like, we did a PGA Championship show 1 year before we actually started doing regular shows.
Yeah, we did an audio. We were doing audio only for a bit for golf. Maybe it was Valhalla when Rory won.
That was, we watched. That was the best one with Phil and Ricky and Phil being mad that they let Rory play up. So that might have been like the first major we were together for. Rory wins, and then our whole podcast era was the Rory drought.
Now we're back. All it took was for Cust to call him an overrated loser, and then he won back-to-back Masters.
Yeah, now we're back. And we're gonna one day have ceremonial Scotty, Tiger, Rory.
Well, that was the question that Cust posed to me, which I thought was very interesting. 20 years from now, in the year 2046, hopefully we're all still here. Odds are we're not all going to be here. I'm talking about everyone watching the show, not just the two of us. But who are the 3 Masters starters in 20 years' time? Because as you mentioned, it's kind of like a Supreme Court justice. Once you're in, they don't really take you out. So they need to be judicious with who they put up there because they don't want to have VJ and Jose Maria Olazabal out hitting the opening shots, which means that they can't put in Tiger and Phil.
Yeah, that's very weird. I would think Faldo surpasses all of them because he's got 3.
So Faldo, Tiger, Phil are like what they would want to be their 3. But it's going to be Gary Player. He's going to be like 140 years old, being more mobile than
Gary's
Cust.
going to live forever. And let me ask you a question, though, Pat. Will they have to fill the 3rd? Like, if someone dies, can they run with a couple?
Probably, yeah.
Because Bernard Langer is going to live to like 110 also. And he's got multiple too.
Unless he starts continuously suffering pickleball injuries.
Sure. But so that's another one. I would say Faldo Langer. Oh, well, Faldo's got 3 and Langer Olafable, what, have 2?
Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, how old is Tom Watson? Tom Watson could just still be alive.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
He's 76. No, he won't be.
I don't know. They might have to come off the Supreme Court justice thing and maybe make it rotational in some way.
Yeah, but they'll have Tiger there every single time, just like they have Jack there every single time.
Yeah, of course.
And they had Arnold Palmer there.
I mean, this hasn't changed for a while, right? I feel like we've had these 3 for a while since Arnie died.
Probably, yeah.
But Watson got in when Arnie died. We would assume.
Well, it's weird because you don't think about it in these terms, but in 20 years, like Phil's going to be 75, and Tiger's going to be 71. That you'd want to get as many years out of those guys as possible.
Yeah, I guess.
Can I give you one of my Masters awards of guy who was on the leaderboard all week, yet no one thought he had a 1% chance of winning? Sam Burns. And shout out to Shane Lowry, back-to-back 80s in the final round at the Masters, 2 years in a row.
My only defense of CBS and their situation with Burns on second is that they knew that was going to happen beforehand. Yes, he was tied for the lead. Yes, it was Sunday, but he was always going to eject. So
let's not invest any story capital into Sam Burns because it's going to be a waste in 2 hours.
Dude, do you want to know something?
Sure.
I lost low Scandinavian because Victor went banana and Ludwig bogeyed 16-17 and missed a 6-footer for birdie on 18.
I saw people sweating the Ben Griffin low debutante as well, and Griffin just went full meltdown. I think he was the only guy to put it into the water on 16 on Sunday.
Oy. And this is where I need the people for a moment. You tell me, Pat, how much I might be biased because I have a bet, but I know what I saw. And I believe it was graded wrong. And while I'm talking about it here, because it's easier with words, I want you to know I am too lazy to take this to customer service. I do not want to go through an AI bot to then go to a human to then have to explain myself because it was a novelty bet. And the bet max, while it was over $100, it wasn't over 200, and is a novelty bet. So the market, they're only taking so much. Plus 135. Will the champion cry on the broadcast before it goes off? They graded it a no. Let me talk for a moment. I swear to God, this is what I saw. Before Rory even hit his final putt, as Cam was hitting his putt, Rory was crying. He was crying. When he went to hit his final putt, he wipes his eye to wipe his eye over that inch putt. Wipes his eye. Gains a bit of his composure. Then he does the walk to the family. Obviously, his little girl is shy. It's a little awkward, but I'm not going to read into that. I'll read more into the stuff with his wife being awkward because she's not 6 years old. So she's I like to meet with the daughter. It's more it's nervous and you're shy and there's so many people in cameras. My 6-year-old might act like that, even though I know she loves me. When he hugged his parents, because his mom wasn't there last time, he double hugged both parents, arm around each of them. He came out of that. He was crying. They graded it a no.
This is what you get for betting on stupid markets.
This is like the halftime. This person on stage, not on stage, performing, not performing. It's all up to them. And I'm too late. I am too lazy. I'm going to explain that to some freaking person in a chat bot, I'll take the L, but I'm going to complain about it here. And usually with things like that, you wish there's someone who made that bet who needs that money so much more who is complaining for me. But when I went in there, I'm like, what? No. He's crying. And listen, if you guys think I'm wrong or you saw it differently, leave it in the comments. Like, tell me. Maybe my brain wanted to see something and that's what my brain saw.
We did flesh out this discussion a little bit, but is Rory now the best European golfer ever?
Yeah, it's over.
He passes Faldo.
Well, he has a Grand Slam. He doesn't have a Grand Slam. Now he's got as many majors. So what does Faldo have to stand on? Other than they're tied, but there's a clear tiebreaker. There's a clear, Grand Slam is a tie-breaking default. If you want to do total numbers, it was still Faldo. I think he tied Seve at 5. So that's what that last one got him. And he wants to be the winningest European golfer ever. When he won last year, we had said that is he's got the Grand Slam. His next goal will be to be the greatest, no doubt, European golfer of all time. I believe now he has done that. Even though he's tied with Faldo, I don't think you can dispute. Faldo's sort of like Brooks. He's got the 3 and 3. But there's 2 of them he didn't touch.
And it's the 2 that Brooks has.
Yeah, funny enough. Faldo, for Nick Faldo, if you're like a European boy, you've won your Grand Slam.
Yeah, you won
the
3
Masters
Opens and 3
and the
Masters.
Open.
Yeah.
To Europe. That is, I don't even need the other ones. So I'm not any knock on Faldo. Faldo's the best. He was wearing his 86 shirt. He is, he's wearing a t-shirt that said 6 back in 86. Yeah. Faldo's fun content though. A little corny.
Yeah, he also, I think the corny content that comes from golf, you have to remember, most of these are 60-year-old white dudes who played golf their whole life.
Of course.
Not the coolest dude. But I want to go back to what you said about Scotty and being short. I am here for the Scotty Scheffler Hollywood Hogan heel turn. It would be the best thing for golf if just all of a sudden Scotty Scheffler was Shooter McGavin. It'd be awesome.
I totally agree. I'm just saying, let's acknowledge that this is not just a one-off. It's an actual pattern, which gives credence to, there will be more. There will be more. Is Rory going to play this week?
No, Rory's not in the field. Yeah, he was already not in the field. Question from Jared. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, a comment and a question. Poor Haotong.
Oh, yeah. He really felt the wrath of Cust on Sunday.
Yeah, felt bad for him. Bye.
Still doesn't top his mom getting his club out of that dirty pond in Europe. Yesterday was still just the second greatest Haotong clip.
And now he has to requalify for the Masters next year, too, after it looked like he was a lock to play it. The guys that were the big, obviously Rory's the big winner, but the other big winners were the guys that got themselves back in for next year. Knapp especially came in 11th. Homa got himself back in at 9th. And, there's only one way to phrase this. Cantlay got himself back in at 12th.
Yeah, Cantlay. Good old Patty C. He'd never actually fall out of the world.
You say that.
Year.
You say that, but he's not super high up.
Where is he?
33rd after the Masters, after coming 12th at the Masters.
So on Saturday night, I put a question up. What were his odds going to be? You might have even done it in your research show, but it was even lower than everyone guessed.
Well, we had a discussion on the before we knew that Rory wasn't going to play this week, that we said, if Rory wins the Masters next week at the Heritage, who would have lower opening odds, Rory or Scotty? And I said it was Scotty regardless of what had happened. But even if Rory was playing in it this week, now that Scotty came in second and rediscovered his irons, he was always going to be the betting favorite here.
I would agree. Yes, Scotty's full weekend chart. When we had that conversation, Scotty was 12 back. You're right. I can't, because when we had the conversation, I said, Pat, it could be a tie.
It could have been.
No, not Scotty finishing in second. That would
No.
still.
But at that time, would anyone have wanted to back Rory coming off of winning the Masters? I mean, the guy won the Masters last year and took a vacation for 5 months till the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. So what do you see? This is going to be such a funny we're going to do the conversation again at the PGA, because the conversation, and shout out to our boy Tour Picks, Idoni, and Niall over across the pond for Odds Checker UK. Really the only people I know that were on the pre-tournament Rory. I'm sure some of our listeners were.
Shout out to Pat and Keith, who identified Rory as the best one and done play. And I moved to second place in the $1,000 one and done.
Oh, look at that, Pat.
Big jump for Pat.
Yeah, I had to readjust the sack here. The conversation everyone had was like, and it was as much he hadn't played since the Players, blah, blah, blah. But, talk about new normal. This week would have been a new normal for Rory, yada, yada, yada. We decide to fade. Well, what happened last year when he won the Masters? He gas canned pretty much the rest of the year. So when we get to the PGA Championship, the US Open, because he'll be locked in. We even hoped last year he'd be locked in for the Open. But here's the question. I feel like we're going to have the same conversation we had before the Masters, and that almost Roy for the PGA, is he a dead fish? Well, look what happened last year. And then the other side of it will be well, now won't he have freed up? He will have learned from last year's, the post-Masters euphoria won't be like last year, despite a well-deserved break. He'll have learned from what that did to the rest of his season and want to come in. But I believe we'll go to the PGA Championship and he'll be as disregarded as he was in terms of the Masters tip sheet this year.
I would tend to agree.
And he'll be value again. Jared had a question because he only got his comment out.
Thank you, Geoff. Rose, if he hits that eagle putt, he was having a really rough back nine as it was, more bad shots than good. But if he hits that eagle putt, do you give him a chance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
But it felt like the moment he missed it, it was over.
Yeah.
He knew he had to make it and he missed it and it just deflated everything else.
But then he missed the comebacker.
But just missing the eagle putt. Yeah, I get that he missed the birdie putt too. And it does change some of the metrics for him. But he even got super lucky on 17 when he sliced it into the woods and it bounced out. There's a lot of that this week. Because that is the one thing that you can point to with Cam Young is that he played really great on Saturday. He also got every break in the world on Saturday.
Got all the breaks. I joked. I thought Larry was had to have fucked a squirrel or something to be that one with nature. Yeah, we were loving the breaks. See, obviously the tree one, but we got one early in the round, hitting some pedestrian chairs, patron chairs.
The patron chair and bounce back in the huge off the green chip in on 4, the bomb on 16.
And then even yesterday on number 3, he got a break too, or it came out. But his chipping, his bunker game, it wasn't very solid yesterday.
No, it was the first time he was tied for the lead at the Masters. This happens to a lot of guys who have never done that at the Masters before. He had top 10s at the Masters, but his top 10, it's hard to contextualize going back and looking at it. Xander came T9. Xander wasn't in this tournament. It's Cust was trying to claim that Hatton almost won. Hatton didn't almost win. There was no chance ever of Hatton winning this tournament. He came in 3rd.
He shot the bed too hard on Saturday
and Thursday.
He did nothing.
Yeah, he had 66 on Friday, 66 on Sunday. But it's he's at 10 under. He's only 2 back. It's but he ain't getting any better because he's already finished. And 10's not winning, so he didn't have a chance to win. Burns had more of a chance to win than Hatton did, even though Hatton finished above him.
Burns had more of a chance than Hatton. Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. Hatton's gippery. Whatever. I sit here. We're 1 for 2 on Cam Young future bets this year. Bigger numbers coming for the next couple.
Yeah, Bobby Mack's going to win the PGA Championship or Spieth, because that's now the narrative. After Spieth wins this week at the Heritage, it's all about the Grand Slam for Spieth.
I mean, I'll tell you who to bet for the PGA Championship.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Well, I have the Valhalla Fitzpatricks where I didn't play the Masters one, so now I feel smart because I was nervous last week and an idiot. But now my big Fitzpatrick numbers are going to come in. And yeah, I think I've got 3 bets already. I got Cam, like big, north of 50, I think. I got Fitzpatrick 80, and I've got like Hatton 100
for the PGA Championship.
Yeah, maybe Hatton 80 and 90, something big.
Let's see here.
That's what
I got Bobby Mack at 110, Justin Rose at 90, and Fitzpatrick at 80. Those are my 3 for the PGA Championship that we made before the year.
Let me just, Hatton's 80, not 100. Which he might still be 80, which I don't know, maybe doesn't make me feel great.
I know that you don't like to give this guy any credit, because I give a
Yes, he deserves so much credit. We're going to give him credit. He's on my notes here. He deserves credit for the golf part of the week.
Morikawa being at 9 under. I know what it's like to have a back problem like that, and that's exactly how I walk when I have the back problem. Like, you can just see it. I don't know if he plays this week at the Heritage. I think he gutted it out for the Masters. I wouldn't be shocked to see him WD.
Pardon?
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got to. If he doesn't WD, he better WD or I'm going to be mean, despite him being great. Because you know where I'm going to turn this if he doesn't WD?
That he was faking it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Not faking it. Not faking it.
Well, clearly he can play
so hold
through
on,
it.
let me clarify before you yell at me. Before you yell at me, let me clarify. Wasn't faking it. Faking it, too strong a word. The correct terminology here, milking it.
Well, no, you can't milk a back injury. Obviously, he could play with a back injury. He did it, but it's not going to feel good.
Let's see if he plays this week.
As producers who have worked with him on commercials have told me, he's not really much of a natural actor, put it that way.
I'll give you that. You got me there.
He's not Daniel Day-Lewis playing the Masters here. The guy has it's very clear he has a back injury.
Okay, unrelated. Oh, never mind. Actually, that didn't make any sense. But looking at odds boards, they already have next live up, but that's not this week.
No, that's they're in America. No, they're not in America.
Mexico City.
Chapultepec is where they're playing. Phil return.
Phil probably won't be there.
No, Phil was busy tweeting about the Masters.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, him and Michael Kim were the 2 best follows on the weekend.
I always enjoy Kim. I do follow Phil. He's crazy. But was he complaining?
No.
Good.
He was complaining about 13 and 15, that he didn't like that guys weren't going for it in 2, that they moved it too far back. He thinks that some of the excitement is making that decision to go for it in 2, where a lot of guys just said, you know what? I'm laying up. And maybe maybe
but
this
I
happens.
would argue like free easy Eagles aren't like that great either.
It's part of the allure of the Masters, though. I think people forget that it doesn't need to be a birdie fest, because the course will bite back at you if you make a bad shot. But there is something to rewarding really excellent shots that people like to watch too, especially coming home, that if you can get 13 and 15, it can swing the entire tournament. Like, if Scheffler was just able to swing those holes, he wins.
If Scheffler was just able to, yeah, dude, I could think of putts on, he made some incredible par saves on Saturday too from the fairway. So I feel like it was all there because he made all the par saves, that there were some like 8-foot misses that this guy wins by like 2 strokes. But you're not going to hit everything. And the par saves were just so outstanding that if you're a Scheffler guy, I feel like it's a little disingenuous. But you can easily find the strokes. I mean, he was on TV a lot, deservedly so, and we know the strokes. Every back 9 on the par 5s. They were there all weekend.
What happened to Reed and Fleetwood on the weekend?
Shame. Great dishonor to their friend Jeffrey.
Tommy, I can see. I get that. But Reed? I'm not expecting that. Just to go away.
Reed got dummied by Rose. He got dummied by Morikawa. Fleetwood was just in trance. Fleetwood was there supporting Hatton and Lowry. Like just being an extra, maybe grabbing them a snack or doing whatever needed to be done. He probably raked a bunker for them. That's what Fleetwood was doing.
Just like when Sergio had to carry Rahm's clubs.
Here's the thing about Tommy, though. Like, Pat, these are the conversations that we often have. And there are many times where it's like about Rory and like such a loser. Be like, well, he's a loser because he was like in it to the end and lost. Tommy Fleetwood takes less shrapnel being dog shit than he does when he like plays well and doesn't win. So maybe for Tommy, it's a better result.
It is better. I told you for years this was my case for Rory, is that you wouldn't call him a loser if he wasn't in every tournament. If he just came, if he pulled a Bryson this week and just missed the cut, you just wouldn't even remember him anymore. Or pull a Rahm. Oh, hey, a real nice Sunday. Yeah, he was out of it though. No one cares. Yeah. Although I think that Cust needs to walk back his very clearly best two players in the world, Bryson Rahm take coming into the week. Oh. Losing to 1-2 on the PGA Tour, who finished 1-2 at the Masters.
Disgraceful.
It was really bad.
Just disgraceful.
And I have come in like when we wrote up the fades, like obviously I wasn't on Bryson this week. I even really actively root against Bryson. It's just I don't like this tournament for him. I could be back on him with like better odds now. Now that we got a bad Masters from him, we might get somewhat realistic odds for him for the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship.
No, I don't think so.
He won't be.
He doesn't float. He won't float.
He got up to being the second favorite before Rahm stole all the thunder as the second guy in this field behind Scheffler. Bryson had already passed Rory. I don't think we're going to see that again.
My point being is we see what happens with these majors. There's very little float. Now, there's certain players who can float, right? But we watched like last year, like a guy like Ludwig did not float on his Masters odds, despite the regular tournament odds drifting. But we saw like a guy like Cantlay continue to float. So if you're like not liked, I guess you'll float. There's no way Bryson US Open will float like pre-tournament. Maybe like week of, as people like, deep into it. But there's so much grace with that player on that setup that there's no way you're going to get a number that you're going to want to bang before it.
Maybe not, but if he's at 10, he ended up going off at 14.5, 15 this week. If people are not enthused based on what they see, like if he doesn't win 2 live tournaments in a row coming in, especially to the PGA Championship, not so much the US Open, because I agree with you based on that setup, that you might be able to catch like an 18 if he's not in good form. Not pre-turn, like the week of.
I would agree.
Anything else on Augusta?
Nope. I'm
going to like Chris Goddard up here in the future. I like the way that he only finished at -2. He had a bad weekend, but he has the eye for the Masters. Just after watching a lot of him the first 2 days, the way that he's able to see the slopes, hit his chips off of them, just the way that other guys were not able to attack around the greens, he was. I thought it was super. It's very Scheffler-esque.
Very Scheffler-esque. Very impressive. There's a slew of debutants who impressed me.
Like Michael.
It's actually I didn't have a single bet in that market. I'd argue it's the most fun Masters market, though.
Well, I bet on Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson, who missed the cut and somehow gained 4 strokes ball striking in 2 days and lost 6 between chipping and putting. Not a good run for him.
That was a tough one.
What are you going to do? Just say, listen, as I said on the Heritage Research Show, a 50-1 is a 50-1, whatever week that it is. Some weeks you win, some weeks you lose. It's more fun. It's better for me professionally to win at the Masters, but there really is no difference between winning and losing any sort of week, betting-wise.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with Masters, I might get a little more overexposed because I'm a sucker. The sophisticated square in me gets a little more square for a tent pole event, right? And there's nothing more tent pole in my life than that. So that's where we are. There's something else I'd like to bring up, but he's playing in the Heritage, so we'll probably just talk about it. And
You,
that's
you,
Victor.
you can bring up Victor, sure.
Like
Why not?
just how even early nothing went, but I'm not like deep into the stats. You saw on day one, like he actually struck the ball incredible.
Yep, that's why he's a
And,
play on guy.
He's striking the ball lovely, so it seems like the water wing exercises are coming, are coming full circle, and we might be getting like a summer of V.
Sure. I mean, he also had 2 really good rounds at the Masters kind of thing. So did Max Homa. Is it the summer of Max Homa?
No, but I don't look at them the same at all. They're not even like.
You say that, but I mean, Homa's he might even be more accomplished on tour than Victor Hovland is. I mean, Homa has 6 wins.
Rock, like I don't even think their ceilings are close.
You say that though, but I mean, it's not
It's
like
my
Vic hasn't
opinion.
had
When
10
Homa won,
10 years
when Homa
to
was
prove it.
playing great, I considered him an overachiever. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. So when he falls back, when I consider you an overachiever, I'm not like totally shocked. That's all.
If
Will he
you
win? I'm not saying he'll never win again.
If you had met Hovland at 23 and not 19, whatever he was, I feel like you'd feel different. It's just you expect him to be so good, like we do with some of these guys, and maybe he's just an upper tier mid card guy.
Maybe.
And you trying to throw Homa as you were about to say the Rocket Mortgage winner. Dude won like the Genesis. He's won
that. I know he won the Genesis because I had money on fucking Tony Finau and Max Homa was behind a goddamn tree.
Maybe Victor Hovland is Tony Finau.
Well, it took Finau a long fucking time to do anything Victor did.
Hey, they're both Puerto Rico Open winners.
Maybe.
RBC Heritage. Harbortown, South Carolina. Keith is at the course. He'll be joining us on Tuesday evening to give us the inside info. We go to the top of the betting board. There's no Rory, but there is Scotty. And you can get him as high as 4-1 in some markets right now. So it's Scotty. And then there's a drop down, and betting sites can't figure out who the second one is. I suggest you use coolbet.com if you're in Canada outside of Ontario. Coolbet.com right now. Get a bonus down in the description. But it's Scotty. You go down next. You got Xander, Cam Young, Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Ludwig, Henley, Cantlay, Morikawa, Burns. All of those guys are 25-1 or less. That's outrageous. You throw Justin Thomas into that mix too if you want to, because he is also one of the guys who's below that threshold. And depending on what site that you look at, like I'm looking at a site where Fitzpatrick's the second favorite at 15-1.
It's all shit. Like the only thing I look at there is like maybe I'll bet Scotty for the first time in 3 years.
I think that there is more value on the second rung of guys. Like I if you had to make me choose, I'd probably pick. I mean, Xander had a really good Masters, except he couldn't putt. That Xander's gonna putt and he's gonna win one of these events. It would probably be Xander for me.
Yeah, sure. Gotta bet. Bet like a lot of my bets the week after a major. If a guy played well, who I bet to win the major, I'd always be tempted to go back. So Xander would be one of them, potentially.
Xander at the Masters was second in approach and 5th off the tee.
He had a really hard time figuring out the greens, Pat.
I know.
If you track Xander, he'd have like third. I mean, we saw it on Friday with a lag putt, not even like a 25-footer that he 3-putted. He left woefully short, and then he sort of spiraled as he was about to like get in the mix with some of the guys before Rory pulled away, blah, blah, blah. But if you continue to track Xander through the weekend, you saw much of the same. You saw these like 30-foot putts that were like 5 feet long, 5 feet short. Couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. He could not figure out these speeds. He couldn't figure them out.
He's played well at the Heritage over the years as well, and it wasn't so taxing on him on Sunday. He just kind of had to go put up a nice round, collect himself a top 10 paycheck, and get out of Dodge. He had no real sweat coming into it. So once we get past that territory because I'm not enamored with any of those guys. We go to the 30 to like 50 range. You got Bobby, who was Cust one and done pick this week, Robert McIntyre, Jake Knapp, Spieth, Thomas, Burns, Siwoo Kim, Mav McNealy, Shane Lowry, Victor Hovland, Ben Griffin, Jason Day. These are all the 29 to 42 guys, which it's like they're waiting for everyone to make bets and then they'll figure out what to do with the rest of it.
100%. I've never seen, people say, I don't think I complain about odds boards a lot. I don't. Now, I complain sometimes. I did complain last week. Haha. I don't. Last week, I thought that I just didn't understand how so many guys could be like sub 22 and then Siwoo Kim would only be 50 to 1. And those guys, I felt like that was bullshit. That was ridiculous. This whole odds board just seems so goddamn ridiculous to me still. I don't have a clue how they can do this, but it's like the week after Masters, people on their golf high. It's like people want to bet golfers, not numbers, and we'll get them. I don't know. I feel like they're like taking advantage of the casuals out of the Masters here. But there's nothing you've said that like I felt I needed to bet this morning.
I bet on a few guys so far.
No, I mean of the names you've mentioned.
Yeah, let's just go straight to, Bridgman, Goddard, they're all below 50 to 1 as well. Not super into that. Let's go to the 50 plus because I think this is where this tournament, despite being a signature event, can get kind of interesting. You got some of my faves right here at the top. You got some Straka, got some Akshay, and I told you that I bet on Min-Woo Lee. And here's the thing: in those each way 3 markets this morning, guess the number I got on him with 3 places.
I don't know. What was it?
110 to 1. He fits my guy who missed the cut at the Masters. And when I was doing the research show, he just kept popping up that he's been very good with his wedges, and he's using this mini driver and not his driver and improving his accuracy. Not that you have to be the most accurate at Harbour Town, but you need to know where to miss at Harbour Town. That if you have to be on the right side, even if it's close to the trees, that's better sometimes than being in the left fairway just to give you the right angles at this course. He can chip, he can putt. I like him a lot.
Yeah, you know what? Like, you can make a 2-man Scotty Min-Woo Lee card.
For sure. You wanted to. I didn't, but you can.
Yeah. I like Min-Woo Lee. I bet him a lot. Doesn't take much to twist my arm in there. Number seems fair. I mean, most people who bet him last week got a worse number than this, but I had like a long future, so I don't feel as disgusted in Min-Woo Lee as others. Like, if you bet Min-Woo Lee last week at 35, 40 to 1, I get why you feel stupid, like way dumber than I do, who had an 80 or 90 to 1 Min-Woo Lee future.
I also bet
losers. We're all losers anyway. You just bet more than I did.
I also bet on Spieth to win.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of feel he's you track him, it's everything Jordan Spieth is. We're getting back to maybe baseline Jordan, so I could see why you'd want to bet him. Not for me.
The last time he won an event was this tournament in 2022. It's just his iron play is so good right now. So even at the Masters, again, it was awesome.
Did he win the year before? Like, he beat Fitz in a play, lost to Fitz, then won, or lost to
other way around. He beat Cantlay in the playoff, then lost to Fitz the next year here.
I had Cantlay and Fitz, so we're 1 for 2 on those ones. I'd rather bet Bobby Mack at 40 than Spieth at 40.
That's fair. I can totally understand that. I just like Spieth at this course, and said, he's got his Grand Slam to win coming up in a month. Got to get a win on the board somewhere.
So I don't know much about
Aronimik,
other than I've been told that the reason I bet who I bet, other than Cam Young, who I just blind bet everywhere, was that it should suit very well like the European golfer.
Yeah. That's why we bet all those Euros to win.
I don't even remember who. Might have been Noonan, although I don't want to give him credit for something that could be wrong. It's like, this person told me this, then everyone's gonna say that doesn't make any sense. Was that it? Like, made even have like a Bay Hill feel.
Oh, that I don't know. I'll dig into it more. Maybe I'll play it on a simulator and try to walk through the holes. That'd be fun. Not that I
How
have.
long do we have until that? Do you mind? I hate giving you homework. What's our schedule now?
I think it's May 16th.
So it's pretty soon.
Yeah, it's about a month's time. PGA
So we have
champion.
this and then Zurich and then what?
Doral.
Oh
Yeah. And then Quail Hollow.
Oh baby, let's go. That's a pleasant surprise. You're reminding me of that.
Do you think that the PGA put Trump Doral back on the schedule so Liv couldn't play it the week before the Masters because it was so beneficial to them to play it?
Sure. I wouldn't doubt any of that. Do you think Liv is going to rethink not playing in North America before the Masters?
They should, but probably not. I don't think they care that much.
You would think, maybe I'm wrong because they are just paid mercenaries, but you'd think like Bryson and Rahm and maybe one other guy would have like a say in what the week before or what the pre-majors are, but maybe not. Shut up and dribble. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's much. Maybe if they want to consult the players on Liv, but I'm pretty sure it's more like shut up and take the money.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. So
we didn't talk about Sergio, man.
Well, I asked you about Sergio carrying Rahm's clubs.
Well, getting yelled at by the head of the competition committee chair.
He just went Sergio stuff. People get very offended by Sergio. I like that Sergio's a hothead, crazy person.
Did you see his post questions?
I did not know.
Yeah, he was pretty short. He goes, "I'm not answering." He goes, "I'm not answering that." They go, "Why have you been so bad here since you won?" He goes, "Bad shots."
That's fair. I can confirm.
Was it hard playing without a driver? No, it was easy. I knew what I had to hit on each hole.
Well, I had forgotten he had broken the driver because I was watching the Amen corner feed with him and Rahm playing. And Rahm outdrove him like 70 yards. Sergio had, I think, 239 in on 11. Like, the shot's impossible.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, so we go Zurich next week, Trump Doral, Quail Hollow, PGA Championship. But we also get one of my favorite tournaments of the year, the Myrtle Beach Classic, running opposite of Quail Hollow.
Okay, so it's a nice little nice run of golf.
Yeah. Then we're almost back at football. Oh God, I gotta take
should do this. Last year, like in the last few years, the leaderboard has just been made up of like the guys that missed the cut or even guys that got their ass kicked at the Masters.
Not 2 years ago. Last year, because it's been a signature event now for 2 years. So Scotty wins the first year. Remember, Cantlay came back on Monday to hit a shot on 18 as chip.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! Thank you.
So that one ended up finishing second, but you had like and there was a lot of big names on the top of the leaderboard last year, but most of them were like exclusively. It looked way more like the old Heritage tournaments last year when you took a look at the top of the leaderboard. Like Thomas ended up winning, but like Novak lost in the playoff to him. Harmon was up there. Matt McNealy was up there. Like all of the big names who just went through the grinder just kind of no-showed.
Interesting.
So let's do this. Here are the guys that I bet from down the board. It's probably the easier way to go about this. I bet on Austin Smotherman. I got him with the 8 places at 200 to 1. I have bet on Brian Harmon, 150 to 1 with 3 places. I kept pointing it out to you and anyone who would listen to me. I could not have been more impressed with the way that he rallied at the Masters. And even when you look at his stats from the week, they're not going to look great because he was so bad for the first 27 holes of the Masters and that was awesome the rest of the way. And this is a great course for Brian Harmon.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a guy. I mean, he went bananas. Arguably, what was he, like 10 over?
He was 10 over. He was 10 over through 4 holes in the second round.
10 over through 4 holes in the second round.
And then got through at the cut. He so no, like
That's a smart bet. Yeah.
4, 5, and 6 played awful. And then on Thursday, he birdied 5, 6, 7, and 8 in a row to get back to 6. And then he made his way through the cut line. I thought it was pretty impressive stuff.
Oh. Like outside of like the actual top, I would argue it was the one of the performances of the week.
I had come into the week doing the research show. Heatsetsune and JT Poston were popping, but Poston is 60-1 and Heatsetsune is 65-1. Minwoo has longer odds than these guys now. Pass.
Love that. And honestly, Harman, we give him so much shit when he ends up on your TV when you're trying to watch golf. He had one of my favorite interviews of the week. He was being pestered or poked by some, I guess, Euro journalist about, I guess they're asking him about Hoylake, and he wasn't falling for any of it. He goes, yeah, I'm the butcher of Hoylake. I throw a pie. Everyone calls me the butcher now, and thank you. So good for him. Good for him. He's going to show up. He's going to defend. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Too bad there isn't an open champion dinner. When you go back to the place. I tell you what he'd serve. Yeah, what about a couple guys who didn't play? Like
Shooter Sean Yeller. Shooter McGavin?
Okay, Shooter's not. I was in on Shooter for the last one. I'm not getting in this one.
It's tough being a signature event. I hope he did come top 8 at the Players, so maybe it's not crazy.
Here's the plan. Firstly, like, can we get like a Shooter AJ Ewert like team at the Zurich? I can't wait to see the Zurich lineup, to be honest.
Who's Brooks and Lowry are playing together, I think?
Yeah. Lowry's ability to just turn out elite teammates. I actually have no idea who's playing with who at all. I haven't seen any rumblings on the pairings. What I wanted to say was I almost want Sudarshan to like just bottom out this week, and then we'll get some like nicer, well, like a tournament he can win in a bit. Then we're gonna get something fair, and we're gonna go get it.
None of the guys who didn't play last week. I will say Michael Kim at 200-1. This is a good course for him.
I got one.
Okay, hit me.
Just like looking at the list, I don't believe he played. If he did, he may miss the cut. He didn't play. Just remembering from 2 weeks ago, Matt Wallace 150.
Yeah, I'll pass.
What tournament was that?
Well, that was at Valero, where he had come third before. Like he's
got those fingers touching when he putts. I can't stand it. Yeah, you're not going to get me long here. I can agree with you. There's some maybe nice picks in like the 40 to 80-1 range, maybe.
Well,
it's crazy how far Corey Connors has fallen on a course like this, odds-wise.
He was lucky to get himself through the cut.
A year ago, out of that Masters, he was probably like 35-1 here.
Or less.
But he was still Corey Connors in an elevated, so I doubt you had to pay in the 20s, but you could be right.
Bridgman, Griffin, even Spawn, Berger.
What about Mav?
That's your guy. He's 35-1 here.
All right, I'm seeing a 40, but he looks like this is the exact sort of course where he could eat lunch.
Sure. Adam, dare you?
It could be my one and done.
I think you've used him before.
All right. Well, then I'll have to pick someone better then.
Well, unfortunately, the guy who was like,
who did Tim pick?
Tim has picked Robert McIntyre as his one and done.
Of course. Okay, Robert McIntyre. This goes to the egg salad stuff. I love Tim, but there's just certain things in life, and I am no savant. Look at me, right? But I in my head, I'm saying like no one is wearing uglier shirts than Robert McIntyre. Tim, I love what Robert McIntyre's wearing. To go with the egg salad hat, there's nothing me and Tim are more like opposed on than I guess what makes a nice shirt.
Yeah, the one and done guy has not been keeping up with it. Like I don't even know who we've been picking. Because who I pick on this show isn't who I pick in like the big tournament. We're playing against 3 guys here. Although, because I think I've used Spieth. I was going to use Spieth, but now I don't know if I can use him or not.
What's the last one that was recorded?
I don't know. I'm trying to find the emails now. I can't even find it. Quick picks for the Heritage. Spieth, Minwoo, Harman, Smotherman. Those are my 4 right now. I'll probably add 2 more by the time we get to the Keith show. I'll run it by Blickle tomorrow. Not like super enthused to get back and just start dumping more money in coming off a loss. But I do think that this course does allow for potentially your non-elite guy to win a signature event because it is more of a democratic course in terms of length off the tee. You need to be good with irons. You need to be able to putt. I am kind of terrified Scotty figured it out, though.
So honestly, like I never say this before. I'm actually looking at Scotty. Now here's the problem. I try to like make the bet and I put in a few, put in what I want to risk, and I'm not impressed with the number back. But of like under 25 to 1, it's like I'd go right to the top. Scotty or Xander. In the next tier, I like Bobby and Mav. Obviously, I'm not betting those guys if I bet on Scotty. And yeah, I'm gonna bet on Minwoo Lee because I'm a sucker for him, and you told me to. And there's just no way I'm coming on a show next week where one of us hit a Minwoo Lee winner, and it was you. That will never happen on this show. It happened once with Fowler.
I know.
But I was like long done betting Fowler. And maybe it'll happen once in like many years when I've retired Minwoo Lee, but I'm not retiring him yet. Did we mention what do you make of Fowler? Just nothing.
It's fine.
Yeah, just fine. That's a good answer. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's about it. I maybe could get tempted into Boccia too.
Yeah, I could very, very easily be nudged back towards Bhatia, Straka, and Højgaard. You don't have to sell me too much on it, but I'm trying to be better. Here.
Yeah, I know, but like the way Bhatia missed that cut, like
he was cruising. He was cruising in round 2.
That's what I mean. Like you mentioned that sort of like recipe you like for the guy. Like he checks every box. Like he's playing good, had a shitty situation to miss the cut. We're now getting him at the exact same number of last week. My feelings on his ability to win and his ceiling are unwavered. Seems pretty fair. Minwoo, Bhatia, Mav. That is like from the core of the odds, the guys that I'm looking at.
One and done picks for the week. As I mentioned, Cust is on Bobby Mack, and I don't know who we've been picking because the sheet has not been updated. So we're just going to fly. I'll update it in the newsletter if we pick incorrectly here. I did win last week at the Masters because I had Xander. You had Rahm, and Cust had Bryson. That did not work out well. So I feel like I used Spieth at Valspar, so I can't use Spieth.
Can I delay this for one more minute?
Sure.
We didn't talk about him at all, but I feel like we talk about him every week. What about Hitsetsune?
I mentioned him and Poston are like 60 and 65 to 1 for no reason.
I'm seeing 88. You might like that more, but I don't know.
I am not betting Hitsetsune without placements. Just not happening. Not against Scotty.
Okay, then let me just follow that up. Because it's elevated, are all of your like longer bets placements? I guess you mentioned you did the T3s with Minwoo and
T3 with Minwoo, T3 with Spieth, T3 with Harman, the 8 places.
Okay.
For Smotherman.
Places for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Especially in a limited field event with no cut. Let's go.
Totally.
Have I used Fitz yet? I don't think so. I'll use Fitzpatrick.
Okay, I don't want to use anyone I actually like, so we're just gonna.
Oh no, I can't. I use Fitzpatrick at the API. I cannot do that. Damn it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I just want to leave. So the sooner I pick someone, the sooner I can go.
So pick someone.
I know I've used Mav, and I think I've used Bobby, so now we're in a problem.
I don't see Mav on your sheet, is what I'll say, but that doesn't mean that you haven't used him.
Okay, I think I actually used him in something else. Okay, give me Mav.
Okay, Mav for you. Screw it. I'll go with Russell Henley for the moment. I mean, I've probably used him at some point.
My guy. I'm a Russell Henley guy now.
I try to do this before the show, but I don't have the fucking update. God damn it.
Yeah, I know. And my memory shit. I can't even remember.
Well, I play in like 8 one and done leagues. I can't remember every single fucking
that's
team
a problem too. My signals are getting crossed on one and done. So it's like I think I know who I picked, but that's okay. We'll overcome. We'll overcome this.
I'll just give me Justin Thomas. I'll take Justin Thomas. I know I haven't used him, so we'll go on with it. That'll be the pick for this show, which has no stakes. For the real show, I'll go over that with Keith.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone. I know you said it earlier who supported last week, crushed it. All your stuff, Pat. So great work to you. Normally I'd be signing off now saying have a great vacation. You've put in great work, but I'm just going to say you put in great work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will be back Tuesday with Blickel. I'll be back Wednesday with Keith. We'll have some fun on Thursday. And then you and I will do Zurich next week. We'll go through the odds and we'll have some special shows lined up for everyone as I kick back and just try to hit a hard reset before we go signature event, PGA Championship, which, granted, is going to be a ton of fun. I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!